rock and roll.
How do we know we're doing it?
I think intern Joe will tell us
Okay.
if we're doing it.
It's unavailable.
Yeah, it says this video is unavailable.
It takes a second, just like Facebook.
The internet can't totally see me now. Oh, there it loaded up the rest of it. Oh, no, it didn't. Says we're live.
Says we're live?
Yeah.
Joe, does it say we're live?
Says right up there. We're live.
Yeah,
no,
but I don't
no
see
video. The video. Oh, what's that? Oh.
Okay, go down. Scroll down. Scroll down. Just keep. Click play. Click the play button. Oh, says we're live. Okay, just go back to OBS Studio. Sorry, guys. We're testing out the new features on YouTube. I'm going to double check that.
Oh, Jamie said we're live.
Oh.
Jamie said we're live. We're live.
Okay, we are live. See, a little bit of a trial run. It's a little different than Facebook Live, but I think we got it. So, Moto Monday is back. We took a short hiatus to take care of a few things. And Dan Dale, the one and the only, gets to be the guest on the return of Moto Monday, and now we're on YouTube. How's it going, Dan?
It's great, man. I'm having a blast.
Have you recovered from the weekend?
Still am. But we're doing better.
I'm still working on it.
Yeah. Well, I stopped working on it.
Gotcha. It was a fun time, though. We had a motocross race.
We certainly did. I mean, there was a lot of people there, and I cannot thank you all so very much for being there.
Let's go back for a minute. Okay.
Let's go
Did you ever? How far back do we want to go? Because I mean, I could go back a long ways in your lifetime.
Well, I was born in... No.
What year were you born?
Oh, you had to throw that out.
I'm sorry.
55.
55.
Do the math. I'm 63.
So is that around
and a
like
half.
World War One?
2.
That's close enough.
Yeah, that's close enough. Yeah. Yep.
Now,
raised in Hawaii. That's my home.
did you ever think when you're in high school over in Hawaii, surrounded by the sun and the palm trees, that you'd own a racetrack known for its winter racing?
No, the only thing I thought about then was
In the
girls.
mud. Girls.
And beer. Not necessarily in that order.
You never thought you would be a racetrack owner?
No. I never. Well, I've never been on a dirt bike in my life, so I never even dreamed that would be the case.
Interesting how the turns that life takes you.
Yeah.
And so you've done a few different things, though. I mean, you could write a pretty interesting book from the few things that I know, and I'm sure there's plenty I do not know. But
Keep it that way.
You've dabbled in a few things.
Yes, sir. And I'd write a book if I knew how to write, so that throws that out the door.
Well, I think you could do what most people do these days and just get a ghostwriter.
Oh, yeah, okay. Can't see thumbs up.
So, just saying, you could find someone, write something down, talk about how. Let's see. Were you a police officer at one point?
I was, contrary to popular belief of my wife, but yes, I was. About 2.5 years.
And did you have a dabble in construction?
I did some of that. I was a landscape contractor for a number of years. We used to do the home shows, the garden shows in the Spokane Valley Convention Center. We did a big centerpiece, so we started doing that and grew really fast, and it was fun, but it was more than I really wanted to do. I'm kind of lazy.
Well, now you have a motocross track and a drag strip, and you have off-road races. You got a 24/7, 365, multiple 200-some acre facility that, let's call it your baby.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to watch all the time, and
Yep.
sometimes it's a whole bunch of kittens running around.
Yep.
Does it ever stress you out?
Yep. I just keep right on going. Yeah, it does. I mean, there's a lot of people that come out there all the time. And, of course, the thing that intrigues me the most is the people that are there. They are, some of the greatest people in the world. there's that knucklehead that does the fifth gear pin wheelie on the back going down the drag strip. But, you know, you politely say, that was kind of fun, but my insurance company doesn't like that, so stop doing it. And they say, oh, sorry, you know, and go on about their lives. But, you know, 99% of the people are just respectable and wonderful. They really are. And very appreciative. So
That's kind of how I look at it, too, because as a promoter, it gets stressful. And, you know, you put a lot of thought into this, and when things start to go wrong, man, there's a lot of stress on the line. But 99% of the people there are awesome people. Yep. And, you know, for example, yesterday we had a race, and I got a chance. I handed off the microphone. I'm usually the announcer, and once again I was announcing, but I was able to hand off the microphone. I got a couple guys I'm kind of training, working with. You know, Jeremiah took over the mic for a while.
He did good. He did.
Yeah. And so I was able to just slow down for a second. I kind of walked around the pit. Man, it's just cool to talk to people, shake some hands, see how they're doing. 99% of the people are awesome. Yeah, there's that 1%er that can be a pain in the butt.
Yep.
But that's just a numbers game. There's always going to be that guy.
Yeah. In whatever you do, not just motocross, but pretty much anything.
Yeah.
So that's true. And when you had the writers meeting up there, just looking out and seeing that massive group of people. I mean, my God, I could not believe how many people were there. It was incredible. I knew them all. I knew most. I mean, 99% of them. I knew them all. They're all friends now, you know, and that's fantastic. I love that.
I wish I would have gotten some more pictures of all the people there at the writers' meeting. Because, yeah, when I went out and opened the window to look out, like, oh, boy.
Yeah.
There's some people.
Crowd city. Krista did get quite a few pictures up there of that. And I saw a couple of them through her camera, and really nice. Good job picture taking. So, yeah, attaboy. But, yep, good times.
Yeah, good times.
Great weather. I mean, good God, that was probably the most perfect day we could ever ask for. It wasn't hot, and the sun wasn't beating on the track to get it all dried out. The moisture held in all day, pretty much the whole day. It was fantastic. And the dirt, my God, dirt was phenomenal. Jim Myron's been helping me out there quite a bit lately. And on Thursday, he wanted to rip the track. So I said, go for it. You know, let's see what happens. He ripped the track, and I think that really made a huge difference because when he ripped it, Tim was out there immediately watering it, so the water stayed in the moisture, deep, stayed in the dirt, and it was deep down. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that made it for epic racing. Really good.
Yes, it was really the perfect storm for weather. I mean, because in the morning we had the cloud cover, the mist, and really was holding that moisture in, and the sun didn't really crack out until much later in the day. And then it was nice, but we were already halfway through racing, and the track, it held up pretty decent, man.
It got rough. It got rough.
Oh, it got rough. I don't know. Okay, so I do ride.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I've ridden woodland on way worse conditions.
Oh.
So I wasn't, I heard a few people say it was rough, but not that many. Not that many were really complaining because we're now into winter racing. It's almost like we flip a switch. Summer racing, we want perfect, pristine tracks, deeply disced, loam. But now we're all in that winter mindset.
Right.
And we don't really have much arena cross, so we have these few outdoor tracks. Eugene in the mud is gnarly. Woodland in the mud isn't bad. Woodland on a dry day, because they don't really have much water, and it's that really silty Mount St. Helens ash.
All right.
Oh, boy, you hang on because there are holes that will swallow your bike. But that's just how it is. That's, there's nothing to even complain about. One, we're all thankful we have options to race on. And two, that's just winter racing. Like, to have a track that you can run in the winter, you have to have some soft soil. Soft soil gets churned up. You expect some holes. So did it get a little beat up? Yeah, but I mean, I've ridden worse and never complained. That's winter racing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I went out and rode it. I rode it on a pit bike. The holes are a little big for a pit bike. Yeah. I will say that.
I heard there was a big wheel out there, too. I guess that wouldn't have been so big for a big wheel. Huh?
All right. Who was on the Yamaha big wheel? Who was that?
I have no idea.
I think it was Ronglin.
Oh, that's why I think it was Roglan, yeah.
I think was it Austin?
Yeah, I think it was.
Austin Ronglin. Yeah, I could see. So, side note, I won the pit bike class with no muffler. My muffler fell off. I don't know if my mechanic forgot to put a bolt in or something, but but I'm out there, and after the first lap, I go around, and there's this weird track on, like this smooth line, like a snake, like you know, if a snake goes through the sand,
makes his mark.
Yeah, this weird thick mark around the track. Like, what on earth is that? Did someone drag something? I'm riding. I'm distracted by this weird snake line. I'm like, it's the big wheel guy. It didn't leave track marks. It was just like this smooth snake.
Street tires, probably then, right?
I didn't look at his tires. I don't know what he had, but it was hilarious. I was literally laughing in my helmet. I followed his line for a little bit. I don't know if he had the best line selection, but I followed it. It was just hilarious. I could
probably a little smoother, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did pack it down. It was so funny because everywhere else just leaves the normal. You can't really follow a tire track.
Right.
It was painfully obvious everywhere that thing went.
Yeah, he's a knucklehead. I love. He's a good kid, really neat kid, and his brother too. But he would do something like that. I could see that.
It was pretty funny. Do you realize we almost had a full gate of pit bikes?
No, I didn't know that.
I'm not sure if all of them finished, but I lined up, of course, late because I had to finish announcing and everything. And then I'm running, grabbing my bike, get down to the line, and everyone's yelling at me, "Come on, we got to go!" And I didn't really have a chance to look. And then I look, and I double took, and like nearly every gate was filled.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I was like, keeping pit bikes alive.
Well, they are fun to watch. That race we had up there on the arena track a while back, that was hilarious. God, that was so much fun.
The Pit Bike National?
Yeah, the Pit Bike Nationals. What, we had 170 riders or something like that?
178, I believe, was the number.
On pit bikes.
On pit bikes. That's what's crazy. Is like, that's a decent race number. Yeah. We had pit bikes. Yeah. Carson Brown, man.
Oh, dude.
I know I've been calling him out all year, but man, when we finally raced, and unfortunately it was not the class we were going to race in, but when we went out and raced the Mod Money class, I tried to follow him in practice. I was like, oh, there's Carson. I let him by and like, let's go. One corner and like, oh, no, he is that fast.
Yeah. The kid's crazy fast, yes.
I about died trying to keep up with him. And then he went and hit a jump. I'm like, I didn't know you could do that on a pit bike.
Well, I think he hit every double out there on the arena track on a pit bike.
He did everything.
Everything. Holy crap.
He made me do 2 jumps I wasn't planning on doing. But then he hit a couple like, nope, not those ones.
I'll be damned.
Well, the guy's got talent. Okay. Look what did you see Red Bull Straight Rhythm?
Yes. Well, I did part of it, and that was him I had to see. Yeah, he's crazy fast. True talent. And that's a natural talent, too, that I don't think can be taught to a lot of people.
And nice kid.
Yeah, very polite.
Really nice kid. I like Carson. We've got a good crop of Northwest riders. Like
Chance. That's a good example, too.
Who has also been on Moto Monday.
Yep. Nice. That's a very nice young man as well. His parents did a good job with him.
There's some very talented and very nice, cool people from the Pacific Northwest.
Yep. I agree.
I mean, I could start naming off a few people. I don't know if you've met Dylan Summerlin.
Oh yeah.
Super. Him and his now wife, rad couple.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, they got married.
That's right. They did. And, congratulations, guys.
Talented duo and cool people.
Yeah. No, they are. That's Bradstreet's another one. You know, they're all. You can name, like you said, you can name them off left, right. You know, and they're all nice, very humble. Which I dig that. I dig that a lot.
Super cool people.
Yeah. Well, that's good. No, overall, it was an absolute fantastic weekend, and you put on a really good show. Where else can you go for $60? You can camp for free, ride 2 classes, have bonfires, cook out. You know, spectators, mom and dad come out there. Doesn't cost them a dime. I mean, that's an awesome program. It really, really is an awesome program. And a lot of people came up to me during the race, after the race, before the race, thanking me for what we do. And I said, hey, you got to call that guy, man. He's the one that put it all together. Yeah, I host it, but it's your program as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, it was well received, absolutely well received. So, and you saw that. I mean, the people were cheering and having.
It was cool, and I've been my phone's been blown up with people talking about stuff, and no, it was cool, and it's a very different program. Mm-hmm. And you know, I'm more of the idea think tank guy. It takes the whole team of people to really make the actual event happen. But I got a little hate for doing the whole pricing structure from very few people, but a few. And I think people get closed-minded. So for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, me and Dan have worked together on a project called the Riverdale Winter MX Series. And it's out, obviously, at Riverdale Raceway. And there's no spectator fees. There's no camping fees or overnight parking fees. And or however you want to
Yeah.
call that, name that. And there is no membership fees. And it's $40 for your first class, $20 for any others. And also, you get a practice on the other tracks.
And what do we have? 5, 6, 7 tracks?
A lot
I
of tracks.
lost track of how many. I keep going around in circles on these tracks thinking, I'm done. Oh, hell, I got another one to do. Oh, hell, I got... Yeah.
So that's kind of unheard of. No one really does that,
Nope.
especially the spectators. And some people have asked why I don't do that, because I help, obviously, at Mountain View as well.
Right.
Why we don't do it at Mountain View. And I'd like to kind of explain that a little to people then who don't really understand my thinking why. Dan, you and me have had talks in private on this.
Right.
But I believe we need some good choices for winter racing. And with the loss of Clark County Arena Cross, Hindsight, what are some other winter tracks we've lost? Clark County was the one that really bummed me out.
Yeah.
But we basically have gone down to, in our immediate area, mostly just Woodland. Now, nothing against Woodland. I am going to try to make it out to the next round. I have fun out there. I've been racing there since I was a kid. Yeah. But when you're the only horse in town and you only have that series, like, people get tired of, for one, even if it's the best track in the world, they'll get tired of the same track.
Sure.
And two, people like other options. They like going around. They just like options. And when there's really no options, a lot of people aren't going to stick it out in the sport because not everyone's a fanatic. Like, I consider myself a fanatic. I have multiple businesses based around my love of motocross. Like, right. I love motocross.
Oh, really?
But, there's a lot of people. Oh, yeah, Mudslingers died.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate. We talked to them a while back about putting on something out there at my place, and I don't know where that went, but it would be nice to bring them back somehow. But I think maybe that's exactly what you're doing without knowing.
Possibly.
Without knowing that that's what's going to happen. Or maybe you do know that. I don't know. But my point being is that can happen real simply and everything. I think we should do that, and I think we should also start pushing the vintage races a little bit more, too.
Vintage racing, yes.
Yeah. And I think the vintage racing also should expand their parameters somewhat as well, and don't stop it at 96 or whatever year it is. Pick up the next year and go till they make another big change. I heard it was like 97 to 07, something like that would be another class that they could add to, which would add more riders to their
Yes, I'd like to come back to that because I had some thoughts on that as well.
Okay, good.
But just to finish this, though, as far as what we're doing out there and why it's affordable, we talked about it and we thought we could pull it off. It was a little bit of a risk, but if we make it affordable for people, I think we could get more people out there, and it's helping the community.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of new racers out there, and winter racing, I mean, it takes a little more cojones than going out for a prime middle of July day to Washougal. That's easy. Right. Come February and you're racing in the snow, that's hardcore.
We did that last year.
We did.
And I thought that was kind of fun, actually.
It was kind of fun, but it was also gnarly. It takes a little more, and I get that, so I want to make it as easy for people as possible, and my theory is we're going to get more riders out there, and we're going to get them hooked on series, and they're going to stick it out, and they're going to become regular racers.
Right.
I do not understand why a lot of promoters, I'm not saying all, definitely not, but a good chunk of promoters seem to get so focused in on what can I get out of a rider today, and not thinking about what about tomorrow? What about 2 days later? What about a week later, a month later, a year later? Case in point, I remember one time I went to a track. They said it was going to be X amount to race. On their flyer, I show up, and they had changed the price by $7.
They added 7?
They added 7.
X plus 7.
That was, 5+ years ago.
Yeah. I
still remember that, and I remember how pissed off I was.
Oh, yeah.
And $7, who cares? I probably have that in change in my drawer. But it grinded me the wrong way, and I didn't want to spend that much more. And I think a few other things. Oh yeah, they had $5 energy drinks, and it was just I feel like I'm getting gouged, and it really put a sour taste. 5 years later, I remember that sour taste.
Right, it sticks with you.
So,
will that be the same things over what you're doing now, though? Will what you're doing now stay with you 5 years from now and saying, hey, I remember when we went to Riverdale and it only cost us $60 to race.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I think doing good for the community will pay you back in the long run. You can't put an exact number on it. You can't say when or how, but it's almost like karma. You're making your own karma. You do good for the community, you can expect at least a little good karma back. That's how I'd like to do business. I don't know when it's going to come back. I just hope it will. I'm a firm believer that it will. And I also, I obviously own a graphics business and a clothing business that's heavily into motocross.
Right.
I believe that if I can build up the sport of motocross, I'm making new potential customers.
Sure.
If I have, let's say I make graphics for 15% of the Northwest. If I increase the riders by 20, 30%, that's more people than, even if I don't take over the percentage of the group, we have a bigger group.
Sure.
And maybe some of these riders that I helped out at a free riding clinic or, affordable racing will remember me like, hey, maybe I'd like to get a set of graphics for you. So sure, I'm getting something out of this, but I can't like pin my finger on exactly what. No. But and also, okay, so I'm throwing in the parts this is what I get out of it, obviously.
Sure.
But I'm also helping out the sport that I've literally lived my entire life in, and I got nervous for a while that was going downhill. Rider numbers were tanking. We're losing tracks. Like the sport of motocross was not going in a good direction. Man, past 2 years starting to look a little brighter. I mean, we're not in the heyday of like 05, but
I wouldn't discount that. I think maybe we are. And we have the numbers to prove it or to back up the statement. When the recession hit in late 08, September 08, 09 and 10 were horrible. Absolutely horrible numbers.
Yep.
Our numbers decreased significantly because a lot of people didn't have that disposable income that they could the spending was gone. So that really reflected on the community. Now that the economy is starting to return again, that's going to help the ridership. I believe it will, because a lot of people are feeling more confident about what's going on. I'm not going to get into the political part of it because I don't think it is political. I think it's just people's general feelings in what's going on. And I see that. Our numbers have gone up in the last 2 years, pretty good. Well, part of that, too, is that we keep throwing new tracks out there. What the hell?
Yeah, you keep adding tracks to the mix.
Dumbass. It's just more to work, more work for me, right? But it does give the people more options. It comes to that, they come out there and say, hey, I'm going to ride this track. Oh, I think I'll go ride that track. That one's too busy. I'll go ride it. They have choices. And like you said, if you have choices, then they're going to come back more and more and more. So
I think, we need more options for winter racing. Mm-hmm. And I think if we make it affordable, we're going to get more new people in. I'm a firm believer we need new blood.
Yes.
Let's not try to just further quickly recirculate your current blood.
Right.
Let's get some new blood. Let's get some more people in the sport of motocross. It's fun. It's a good time. They're rad people. Yes, it is a really aggressive, fast-paced sport, but it's a awesome time. And so I think more people should get into it. Get more people into it, then it's more people riding, more people racing, then more people getting graphics, gear.
Bikes,
it's a trickle down. Yep. It'll help everybody. And when I die, if I could say that I got 5 more people off their butts and playing less video games and actually riding a dirt bike, I'd say I pulled something off. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's a huge.
I'm happy with that.
That's a huge. Yeah.
Me and Jamie were heading up to Mount St. Helens that day, and from the road you could actually see the people playing on the track close to the road.
Right.
So that was good to see.
We have a lot of people actually stop on the highway. Or they'll pull into the driveway right there and just watch the kids jumping on the.
Yeah, it was good to see, and I explained to Jamie again that if you go there, you can actually ride in between motos.
Yeah, which I think that's really fun for a lot of people.
It's the only track that does that.
Is it? Okay. Well, it's kind of funny because we have the big vintage track down by the drag strip, and the vintage guys love it. They think that's the best track that they've been on in years. Well, okay, but there wasn't that many people riding it. And I noticed most of them were riding the arena track up on top when they're in between motos. So I don't know if that's because it's closer and they can keep track of what's going on. That may be what it is. But, man, they were having a blast up there. I thought that was so cool. So, what do we – we got stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. Guys, comment some questions, too, because we're going to do an after show after this. We're going back to Facebook Live for the after show with intern Joe. And we'll be doing that a bit after 8 o'clock. And we'll have a bunch of questions for Dan.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to drag these questions over, though.
Well, they'll all be saved, so
okay.
I mean, we can check back in when we're done with this and see how we're going to do it. First time doing this, guys. New format. You know, we're still playing with stuff.
Yeah, I want to touch that one real quick.
Okay.
We rebuilt that because somebody asked about why did we redo the track down by the drag strip. That,
you haven't named it yet.
You know, we're having a struggle with that. I call it the new vintage. Okay, that's what I call the new vintage because the old vintage is one by the river. I know,
a new
right?
vintage.
New vintage, I know.
It's
hey, that's like shrimp to shrimp.
What do they call that?
Oxymoron.
Yeah, no.
Oh, they call me a
Chris
moron.
Cecilia has some. Evo.
Oh, Evo. Okay, Evo.
The Evo track.
Evo track. That's
the
a good
newer
one.
vintage.
Evo track, yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, the reason why we redesigned it, because the jumps that down there for 99% of my riders were unattainable.
You went a little big, Dan.
There's other people to thank for that, by the way. I
Okay.
won't mention any names, Steve Corey. I love you, Steve, but hey, yeah, it was massively big, and some of the guys that could do it loved that, but there was very few of them that actually could ride it. And my theory or my thoughts in making what I know of so far, what I've learned over the last 14 years, is that if you build a track that is favorable for beginner junior riders, it's safe, it's fun, and if the intermediate and pros want to come out there and ride it, they're going to have fun no matter what. They're going to show up everybody and make them look like, beginners, which they are, but that's okay. As long as they're having fun too, but it's safe. And that's really what I'm after is as much safety in the second most dangerous sport in the world. Okay? I'm trying to make it as safe as possible.
Second most.
Yeah. Bull riding.
Oh, bull riding's just plain stupid.
Well, some people think motocross is stupid too, but I'm not talking to them.
You know what's funny? So, my second love is MMA.
Yeah, I see that.
So
really?
So I go to an MMA gym and talk to some of these guys.
Yeah.
It's shocking to me how many of them are like, you race motocross? Yeah, that's what I do. That's my I'm not the best racer, but yeah, I love it. And he's just like, you're crazy, man. I'm like, we're in an MMA gym surrounded by people who are working out every single day to get as physically strong as possible so they can hurt you more when they punch you in the face.
Right. Yeah.
And you think I'm crazy for riding a dirt bike? Like, yeah, have you seen when you guys crash? It's like, fair.
Yeah.
A lot of MMA guys think us motocrossers are just totally crazy. And it's funny to me. It's like, we're in an MMA gym where people get knocked out, tap out. But no, they think us motocrossers are crazy.
Well, yeah, I understand that one too. I'm not a fan of MMA. I just don't like the underdog getting beat up. So that's just me.
Well, apparently they think we're crazier. So.
Well, I think you are, but
I will say I will agree with you. Bull riding is just next level. Let's purposely breed this gigantic animal with horns on its head, with giant horns on its head,
and muscles that freaking big.
And then let's just squeeze its balls to piss it off, and try to stick a buddy on it.
And then run on it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to ride this.
Here, you see that giant pissed off animal? Hop on it and see how long you can stay on.
Right. In 8 seconds, you don't think that's very long. Oh, that's horrible.
I want to know who first thought this was a good idea.
Same guys that ever thought that he's going to eat the next thing that comes out of that chicken's butt, probably.
Fair. There's a lot of things how did we ever decide that was a thing? You know what I mean? How did we figure... What if humans screwed up in experimenting to get to this certain level,
It's a sense of humor that we all have. I guess it's not really all that smart, but... Well, can you imagine a bunch of cowboys back in the Wild Wild West back in the day sitting around a campfire eating their beans, farting, and all of a sudden they say, hey, that bull's pissed. Let's go ride it.
They were probably drinking whiskey.
Well,
no. They were drinking whiskey, and they're like I bet you $1 you can't stay on that. And they all gathered around and see who could stay on the most angry, violent animal they had in the shed. And next thing you know, it became a sport. That's probably how it started. A bunch of drunk cowboys.
Then they started squeezing its nuts, and I don't understand that at all. I mean, I understand why he's pissed because of it. But
I would be pissed
too.
I'm
not going to reach under there. Never mind.
I had a bull rider I was actually drinking with one time in Montana, and he was the one who first explained to me how they really piss him off. He's like, yeah, so we put the straps there, and I was like, it didn't really make sense. He's like, okay, grab here and just shove your fingers in at the side. He's like, it's a tender area where your legs go up, and I was like, oh.
The light came on, huh?
And he's like, and sometimes we slap them in the balls too. I was like, that's just not nice. Really?
Well, it's nice for the guys doing the slapping maybe, but not for the guy sitting on the back of that thing.
I'm like, I pity anyone who's ever rode one of those things. Not my thing.
Well, you got to be a pretty tough guy to be doing that too, just like your motocross. So you just fall off those things a lot more, I think, than you do motocross bikes.
At least, though, if we crash on a dirt bike, it's a 50-50 chance if we can get away from the bike or not. And the bike kind of just goes wherever gravity takes it.
Yeah.
And a bull, now he's coming for you.
Oh, after you get off, then he's coming back around for seconds.
Yeah. No, the bike doesn't come back at you. The bull, there's no kill switch on that bull. It's coming back to mess you up.
Yeah, and the clown's not a kill switch either. He's just a target.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. So I'm with you. Craziest sport right there.
Yep, it is. But, you know, that's why we tamed that particular track down, because it was too aggressive for most of the riders. And so I hope that answers your question. But also, too, we also needed a vintage track bigger than the one we had. So that's the other reason why we did that as well, because the vintage market is not really being tapped in like it should be.
So let's talk about this.
Okay.
So you don't think it's fully tapped into enough?
No, absolutely not.
Do you think it's something that should be grown? I mean,
well, I think it needs to be dealt with because, and I hate to say this in a way that sounds morbid, but a lot of those vintage riders are dying off because they are getting older, obviously. So that's what happens in life, right? Well, they're trying to, generate a new interest level with the younger riders getting into the vintage bikes. The other problem with vintage bikes, too, of course, is finding parts for some of these old bikes because they're so outdated. They're not making parts for them anymore. So if you got a collection of parts, you're probably a wealthy person. So my thought was if they wanted to continue that sport, vintage just keeps getting newer and newer because bikes are getting newer and newer. So let's pick a reason for a change of framework or engine style or something like that that makes it evolution or revolution or some kind of ocean to make it more, appealing to younger riders. Some of these guys have those bikes sitting around and they ride them out the track. Well, let's go race them.
So why do you think vintage racing should be or is more attractive than just regular motocross?
Well, I love old cars. I love old cars, old bikes. I love old people. So they're more interesting to me. All right. And I think that just keep the sport alive, you give it more diversity. You bring out more options for people to do. There's a bunch of the guys that have, is it Revolution or Evolution? I can't remember.
Revolution.
Okay, Revolution's the last.
So there is actually an Evolution.
Right.
They get really confusing, though, because different organizations have slightly different rules. Like Rev 2 with one organization is a little different than Rev 2 over here. But yeah, they have Revolution 1 and 2 is usually the newest.
Okay.
Evo, but yeah, well, I think at Woodland they actually call it Evolution.
All right.
Or some places call it Sunset.
Okay, there's all kinds of different names for it.
Yeah.
Well, they should probably, use the KISS theory, keep it simple, stupid for the rest of the people out here because they don't know what they want to be involved with, but they know what year of bike they have or whatever, fits into that genre of bike. But that would be, I think, a great option for a bunch of younger riders because they have old bikes that are little. Get the kids out there. The guys that when we had the vintage race out at our place, they had a kids class, and there was quite a few kids in that. And I thought that was pretty impressive because now those kids are going to get excited about racing. Whether it's modern bikes or vintage bikes, whatever, they're going to get excited about racing. And it's just one more option, just one more choice.
So my thoughts on vintage, I think it's I don't really know how much I'm bouncing around here. I don't know how much we should try to grow it because that's almost part of the romantic side of it is that it is small and they kind of like that.
Oh, okay.
But that said, though, I think it's something that people should look into a little more, and I wouldn't mind seeing some growth in as long as it stays true to its roots of being fun. Mm-hmm. It's about having fun. You can only take it so serious when you're on a bike older than you are. This is about just having a good time. And if you go to let's say, I'm not going to name a track. I don't want to start that. Okay. But you go to a race, a regular motocross race, hang out for the day, walk around the pits, just watch the vibes. Just kind of get a feeling. Now go to a vintage race next week. Once again, walk around the pits, talk to some people, get the vibes. It's different.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down, it is different. They're more laid back. They're smiling more. They're having fun. They're not as serious. None of them think they're going to be the next Ricky Carmichael. Right. Not one person in that group thinks they're going to be be the next Ricky Carmichael. Are there a few people that are a little aggro and like in there to win? Sure. Jim Anderson, he'll kill you to get that trophy. Yep. I really want him on the podcast, by the way.
Good luck with that. You're going to have to go to Alabama, I guess, or someplace. No, where did you go to? Mississippi? He bought a track back there.
Well, he hasn't moved yet, though.
I think he did, but I think his wife is still.
He was here last week, and he's going to be going back and forth. I still haven't conned him into coming on the show, but I want Jim Anderson on the show.
That would be fun. It would be entertaining.
He is one scary guy to race with, though, let me tell you. Like, I don't know how old he is now. I know it's over 50, but he still races like he's 21, and he will take you out. It's so crazy. He is talented guy.
Very talented. Nice guy, too. I like Jimmy.
Good I tell everyone he's my favorite asshole.
And he will tell you that as well.
Oh, yeah.
He knows it.
So
good point. I didn't know we could swear on this.
Oh, yeah. We call this a heavy PG-13. Go
heavy
for it.
PG-17. Okay.
Ish.
Okay.
So, but anyways, my point being, there's going to be some guys really wanting to win, but there's no one thinking they're going to be the next anything. They're there to race, to have fun. Yep. I like the atmosphere, and I think that's more attractive to people who are new to the sport. Mm-hmm. So the more we can tap into that atmosphere.
And keep it that way.
Yes. Yeah. The more I think we're going to see growth in the sport of moto.
And and I agree with you. I don't mean that it should go big like regular modern motocross is. I just like to see more events, and then expand that a little bit too.
So, what do you think vintage racing needs to grow? Do you think we need more promoters? Do you think we need more events, more classes? Do you think we need less rules, more rules? What do you think? I mean,
I hate rules, so I don't want any more rules. To be honest, I know we have to have them, but I despise rules. I think a promoter pushing that would help immensely. I think tracks willing to allow them at their track would help as well. I don't know if all tracks are okay with that. I don't know. I certainly am, because that's why we built the track for them. And possibly, I think they have a series that they do at Woodland, and I'm not sure on that. I think it is.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
I think it's once a month-ish.
Yeah,
but they have a vintage series.
Okay. And that's great. That helps. I think they get pretty good numbers for that. I hear a lot of people talking about it and loving it. But then in the summertime, they travel all over the state of Washington and part of Oregon to do a series, and that's about the extent of it. So there's one in the wintertime, one in the summertime. Well, I know the guys would like to ride more than that. I talked to them. A lot of them said they'd like to do more races. So
I'm going to throw out an idea that this was actually my idea.
Okay.
But first, I want to say something.
Yeah.
Ideas are crap.
Ideas are crap?
Ideas are crap.
Depends on what you know.
Ideas are crap. And I say that as a guy whose job is to come up with good ideas.
That's what I do, too.
Ideas are crap. You know why? Execution is what matters. Oh. Everyone's got an idea. Sure. Every single person on earth has some idea tucked away of a way they could make good money, or they could improve their business, start a new business, start their first ever business, run an event, run a series. Yeah. 98% of the people never put in the work to actually make it happen.
No.
Ideas are crap. So I throw out all my ideas like as a promoter, I have no problem telling other promoters how I do things, because you want to take my idea, go for it.
And that's
most of you guys aren't going to go do it. Other than Chris from the Ridge took my free Pee Wee idea.
Oh, did he?
I think he's watching right now. But actually, I think that's awesome, because we need more of that.
Yeah, we do.
I love the Pee Wees, man. Yeah, but I'm getting off track. So I'm going to throw out one of my promoter ideas.
Okay.
Because
listen up, folks. This could be your next millions.
I wouldn't say next millions, but it's something I'm convinced would work. I don't know if I have time to do it. So maybe that's what we need, is someone else who has more time to go and do it. But let's take a sport such as vintage racing. You're not going to get the numbers that you will for a normal motocross race, right?
Right.
As of today, you're not. If you ran a vintage series, like the Woodland series, Woodland will get more riders for their regular races than they will vintage. So let's say there was a series that hopped around to different tracks. Okay. That's hard to do financially if you're only getting 110 riders.
Right.
Okay. Add a second sport, or a third sport, such as, okay, so we only have this many vintage riders. Let's also make it a pit bike series.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Or,
which is fine. That's good.
Or I know everyone's going to hate me, throw in quads.
Yeah.
You get 35 quads, that's still 35 more entries. And the quad riders and the vintage guys would probably get along good enough because they know they have to work together to get their own series.
Right.
You take two sports that are small, they're willing to work together to a degree because they know there's no way they're getting this series if they don't. They know that in the back of their head. So you take sports that are too small to have their own series and put them together.
Right.
You could do moto and flat track. Because I'm sorry, flat track is pretty darn low, which is sad.
It's starting to come on pretty hard, though. I see a lot of kids are now going.
It is making a comeback.
Yeah, it's making a comeback.
I've never done flat track. I feel like I'm going to be forced to next year because a few people's like, "Hey, you can ride my bike."
Dude, it looks more fun to me than motocross does.
Oh,
because you're on the ground all the time.
No, dude, that thing scares me. You literally got to hold your bike wide open, and put your foot down, and start sliding. Yeah. Woo! That one scares me a little bit. I'll try it. I'm willing to try anything with two wheels, but that one scares me a little bit. Flat track has been seeing some more interest, which is I like because that's the OG old school. Back in the 60s and 70s, that was the sport. It would whoop on the numbers for motocross back before I was born. But I know it was more of a premier sport, and it has tanked.
Yeah, it did for a while, but I think it is making a comeback. I see a lot of little guys out there doing it now, which I think is killer. That's so much fun to see them little guys out there. And that's the future of the sport, no matter what it is.
And I think we've had some smart promoters in flat track get more involved with the youth, and that's going to pay off for them because then they're going to get hooked on it. Yep. But let's say you have flat track. A lot of these flat track places have, and if they don't already, could put in a smaller motocross track in the middle.
Right.
Start combining them.
Yep. Yeah.
Run them both on the same day. A lot of these guys are going to bring both. Like Matt Schweitzer, he has a flat track bike and he has a dirt bike. Yeah. I'm sorry, they're both dirt bikes. Motocross bike.
Yeah. I have the new motocross track down by the drag strip. We started building a 3/4 mile oval down there. In addition, it surrounds the motocross track. The motocross track itself is almost a mile long. Well, I think it is a little over a mile long, and the flat track that's on the outside of it is 3/4 mile oval. So there's some things that can be done there if somebody wanted to do that. There's a lot of opportunity for that. And it could be cars or bikes. It could be either or both. It's just set up. I don't have any clay, though. That's the biggest problem I have. I need clay.
Yeah.
I don't have any clay.
Hey, name it your own thing. Make up a sport. Hey, maybe enduro cross. And, there's so many things you could put together that are smaller fringes of two wheels. Put them together. Combine them into one day. If you only have 8 classes with your current sport, add another sport, suddenly you have 16. Now you can pay your bills.
Right.
They have a chance to race, and you can get some sponsors and get them going. So I say with vintage, you could make a huge series if you threw in another side sport of something.
Right. Yeah.
What name your sport. There's a ton of different ones. There could be enduro cross. You could do off-road.
TT.
10 toes ups at endurocross or motocross drag races.
Now we're thinking.
Yeah. You could do all sorts of things to help bolster your numbers up enough.
When we were up at the Mount St. Helens Memorial, whatever it's called, I was thinking, thank you, Mount St. Helens, for winter racing in the Northwest.
You're right.
Because all the ash, woodland, and I don't know if woodland's mostly ash, but Riverdale.
Woodland's a lot of ash.
Yeah.
Because it's all river dredging.
In all honesty, I think woodland's more ash than we are in the fact that, we have more sand and sandy loam with a little bit of ash mixed into it. See, ash floats. So most of the ash went on down the river and everything. So what was deposited behind is that finer or heavier granular stuff than what the ash was.
Yeah. Thank you, Mount St. Helens.
Yeah, thank you, Mount St. Helens.
Thank you, Mount St. Helens, for making winter motocross.
Right? Yeah, and making my dreams come true or nightmares.
Well, I'll stop preaching about promotions and
I think you're doing a good job. I think you need to do that to give the idea of what goes on behind the scenes.
And I like the app. I've said it 100 times. I'll say it again. I like the atmosphere of off-road racing and vintage racing. It's just a cool atmosphere. Hanging out with the guys.
They're real laid-back people, and they're just down to earth. They're the same as my age, which is old. Yeah, thank you. I knew I threw that in there too. Okay, I figured I'd say it before you did. 10 toes up and 7 down. No, that's not good. He's got an amputation then.
So
you think I ever build a SX track.
Hey, save
What the
some
hell
of this
is
for the
SX?
after show. We got to save the questions for the
Oh, yeah,
after show.
That's for later, apparently.
Yeah, so we got plenty of questions for you, Dan.
Oh, God. That's all right. That's what we're here for. We want to give you all the information we can.
I'm trying to copy and paste, Justin, but I don't know if the computer has any programs in it.
It does. You just probably don't know how to find them.
Well, I went to desktop, tried to open up a new one, and I made a bunch of noises.
Cool.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll show you how to do it when we're done. It's pretty easy.
That's what you said.
There
That's
we
once,
go.
or now it's probably 5 or 6 times. So
I was
far.
saving them for the after
before the-
show.
for the
I already
next-
missed a few. We're good.
Probably so.
Oh.
So moving into the future,
Yep.
Side by side.
Side by
That's what
side.
SXS
Oh,
is.
thank you.
did you? Neither of you guys got that.
No.
I was thinking of something totally different because I saw SXS. The first thing I saw was sex. I don't know why, because
Sexist.
the way it was spelled, just first thing I read was sex.
No,
you know how you see these things on
no,
Facebook
Dan,
where
no.
you rearrange all the letters in between, but you see the first and the last?
You need to get
and
on
then
Facebook. No, you're on the wrong parts of Facebook.
I don't know. Well, Joe's the one that told me.
Intern Joe makes a
Someone
lot of
else.
inappropriate comments.
No,
I'm trying to keep it clean right now. My mouth's bleeding. I'm biting my tongue so
He's
much.
trying. He's biting his tongue.
Why, is this different than Facebook? I mean, is this cleaner?
Yes.
This YouTube?
This is
I don't
more,
think so.
this
we
is
on
more
YouTube?
professional.
What are we anyway? I don't even know where the hell we're at.
This is more
Other
professional.
than Battleground. but-
Well, we're currently live on YouTube, and this
Oh.
is also being recorded to go up on all the other podcast platforms. So it's going to be all over the place.
oh, jeez.
Sorry, Dan.
Oh, okay.
It gets funner.
Fun-
The after show.
funner. I don't think
Funner.
funner's a word.
Well,
It is
it is
now.
now. Yeah.
Joe said so. He's funner.
I have my own language.
SXX. Go ahead.
Funner and more.
I was
stupid.
just going to say, moving forward, though,
Yes.
we're about to the end of 2018. We're rolling into 2019.
Isn't that amazing?
Dude, it's wild,
I mean,
man.
we're 3/4 of the way through October already. We just started 2 days ago. I swear.
I can't believe I don't even think summer started yet, and then somebody told me it's actually over.
Dude, I was in Wilco the other day. They have freaking Christmas trees up in the lobby.
I'm not ready, man. I'm not ready.
Dude, I think that's BS myself.
I am not ready for any of
No.
this. So
Well, no, we never are. I mean, we got so many things going on in our lives that we don't have time to look forward to these things. We're just looking for day to day trying to get all of our crap together. I know I got to go out and clean up that mess out there that you guys made yesterday.
oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Damn dirt bikers anyway. A bunch of knuckleheads.
So
Herding kittens. You're right. It's
It
herding
is
kittens.
herding kittens.
Yes, it is.
Motocross
Totally
races.
Is. Totally is.
To run one of those, it's basically professional kitten herding.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. But that's okay. I like kittens. Thank goodness, huh?
So, what's happening next year, Dan? You got some cool stuff up your sleeve? You gonna keep doing the same old, same old? What's going on? What do we got going? Like you and me, literally haven't even talked about any of this.
No, it hasn't. Other than this race thing coming up, that's all we've been focusing on. But no, we haven't really sat down and visited anything, and I don't really know where to go with this.
Just
as
seeing
you
what's
know,
fun.
I'm going to be homeless in about 2 months. I sold my house.
I've been there.
I'm going to Burnside Bridge. I'm going to go try down there and put up a sign up there. We'll groom tracks for food. I'm going to be. We sold the house, and so Audrey and I are trying to figure out what the Sam hell we're going to do next. We bought a fifth wheel a year ago June and haven't used it yet. We bought it in anticipation of selling the house and living in it while we built the new house, which we don't know if that's going to happen yet or not. So December 5th we have to be out. December 6th I'm going to be in Arizona. Nah, probably not. Probably be December 7th or 8th. But anyway, I'm going to go do something.
For.
Yeah, well, that's what we're shooting for. We're going to try a couple weeks of being on traveling. Just go see something different. Not that I don't love the Northwest, but it's gray and it's drippy and I'm old and stiff and I want to go south and get warmed up. So
Sounds like a good plan.
Well, it's a plan. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. It's a plan. So we're going to try it, see what happens, and then come back and clean up the mess and do it again.
All right.
Probably racing again. So we got one in December 2nd. Then what are we doing after that?
Got a little bit of a break.
We got a little
Let
bit
people, get into the holiday spirit. I'm going to be doing some snowboarding.
Ah, nice.
You're going to be playing off in the sun, and then we're going to come back after it's all over and do the next one.
Okay. All right. So we got a little bit of time.
Let's see.
you
December
got-
2nd,
you
and then
got
January
schedule.
6th.
Oh, I happen to have a schedule as well. Okay, January 6th. All right. So, and Jim and Stephanie Myron are going to pitch in and help out while we're gone. I'm leaving everything to my man, Tim. He's going to take over. Tim, you guys cannot believe that man. I mean, he was out there this morning early, picking up all the garbage that was left behind from the race. And there was a lot. He does this every Monday, every Tuesday. He goes out and kicks, because the birds go out there and pick all the garbage out of the garbage cans. And it's scattered all over the place. And pretty soon the wind comes up and it scatters it even more. Tim's out there every Monday and every Tuesday, picking up all the garbage, putting it in the dumpster. I love that man. He has done more for me than anybody I can possibly imagine. And he's right there. He's always right there. Whenever I need him, he hasn't had a day off in years. I mean, seriously, he works 365 days a year. He's out there doing his thing. And I love that man to death. So you guys, next time you see him, say hi, thank you, and all that kind of stuff. We appreciate the hell out of it, man. So, anyway.
You got a crew behind you to help take care of the place while you're off playing in the sun?
Well, playing, okay.
Hey, Dan, you deserve it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. We're going to try it. I've always wanted to do something like this, so we're going to try it and just see. I want to go down and see. I'd like to go down to New Orleans. I want to go down and see the Bayou Country. I'd love to go to Nashville and listen to some good country music or good music, period. And a few other places. I'd like to go back to our nation's capital and see some of the history of the country and things like that. So we're going to have a little bit of time. Go a little bit, come back, go a little bit, come back, until somebody takes over completely.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we'll see how that's going to work out.
Ominous there.
Well, I mean, yeah, everybody knows it's for sale. I mean, let's put it out there. Everybody knows that Riverdale's for sale. Because I did it, a year and a half ago?
Now, why is it for sale?
Because I want to retire.
Is it a lot of work then to keep up? Well, I can only imagine.
It's as much work as you want it to be.
Fair.
I always like to give more to my customers. I believe my customers deserve, they're paying good money to come ride at my facility. I believe they deserve a well-manicured or well-groomed, not manicured because the place looks like crap, but anyway, the tracks are good, okay? I believe they're entitled to options. And so I work to try and maintain that, all right? I probably do more than I need to, but because of the type of dirt that I have, it moves more than just like clay or maybe even woodland. I don't know how woodlands, I've never groomed woodland, so I wouldn't know. But my dirt moves a lot, so I have to find it and put it back where it came from. So it requires, being groomed Friday for Saturday, and then Saturday night for Sunday. And then take a couple days off and don't go in, and then come back again and do it all over again. So it's as much as you want to put into it, really. And it has the potential for much more than what it is. That I can guarantee you. There's so much more that can be done out there. It's incredible. It's crazy. Crazy. So
it's a lot of work. You're about ready to retire, so you're looking for someone to take it over, if possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know a lot of people have asked, like, why is it for sale? And so it was something I had to bring up.
No, I appreciate it.
Everything's for sale.
Well, yes, it is.
If somebody comes up with enough money, everything's for sale.
Yeah, and I price it, I think, in a fair price for the market and the potential for being there and whatnot. I would hate, I'm going to have a hard time leaving. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot of people out there that I just absolutely adore. So, to not be there with them or for them, it's going to be tough.
Well, when Reese gets here, we can talk about Justin's financials. Maybe he can take it over.
Oh.
I can't even see you, but I can just imagine your face right now.
Thanks, intern Joe.
Yeah.
Thanks, intern Joe. Thank you.
I think Justin would do absolutely awesome on it.
He's got all the time in the world. I mean, he could be
he's got all the time in the world.
From
what else
6 p.m. to 3
what else
a.m.
do you do all day long, right?
Yeah, and then just drive here and start. You don't need sleep.
Yeah.
Cars going to drive themselves soon anyways. You could sleep on the way here.
Right?
Hey, if you get a Tesla, it can go on the freeway just fine by itself.
Yep.
That's true. That's what I've heard.
See?
So, but it's something that I'm old. My shoulders are shot. I've been running equipment for 42 years. You guys take care of your bodies. I mean, seriously, that's it right there, folks. That's as high as I can go. It just doesn't work anymore. So I had this one replaced too.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know. So and Audrey knows because she hears me whining about it all the time.
So you like doing it, but you're about ready to retire. So you're just looking for someone to take it over.
Yeah, and I want it to stay operating just like it is, or better. You know, but
so going into 2019, you still plan to basically keep doing what you're doing.
I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Unless something comes up that would make you maybe pass on the reins, or if something looks fun, maybe jump into that. But nothing crazy different planned for next year.
Well, I don't know. I was going to think about starting up a skydiving school, but
that's funny. I was thinking about that. We could do skydiving out there.
You know, you could, because we got our own airport.
That's one business I'm not jumping into. Can you imagine the insurance?
No pun intended. Jumping into. Oh.
Yeah, jumping into it. Yeah, nope. I'm jumping right out because nope. That is a daily limit of nope fish.
Yep.
Nope.
Gotcha on that one. The other option they do is be a grow operation out there. You could put a grow operation out there, slick as a whistle, and then you got an airport to fly in and out, just like Columbia.
There we go.
I don't think
American
that's a business
made.
I want to get into either.
Me either, but it's an option.
Honestly, you
asked.
could do guided Sasquatch hunting tours, though.
Dude, that'd be awesome. We could do
That
helicopter
you could do.
tours up to the mountain. Joe wouldn't have to drive up there. He could just come into our place, get in.
Joe,
Yeah.
we could do Sasquatch hunting out of there, like full tours. That's because your track is in full Sasquatch country.
It is. It is.
We know a guy.
We know a guy. You know, have you ever done snipe hunting?
No,
Remember those
but
back in
I've
the day? You ever
saw
heard
him
about
on
snipe hunting?
King of the
You haven't
Hill.
heard about snipe hunting?
King of the Hill.
Oh my god! I guess I am old.
Sorry, no, no.
Oh, we used to take our girlfriend snipe hunting. There's no such thing as a snipe. Come on, it's in the middle of the freaking dark, and you take your girlfriend snipe hunting, and oh boy!
Sorry, I've never had
Come
to
on,
use
help
that
me out,
one.
people. I got to be old as I am, someplace out there. Tell them what snipe hunting
Oh, I'm sorry. I've never heard of snipe hunting. Now I'm going to have to Google it after this.
is. Oh man!
Which is going to happen soon because we're going to have to wrap this baby up.
That's what she said.
Oh, wow.
All day
Thanks,
long.
Joe.
Oh,
All
he's
right.
been biting his tongue over here.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Joe
Tapping on
Joe
her.
just wants to let loose. I know. So,
Well, I guess we could turn over to what, Facebook?
hey, Joe, turn that off.
Nudity.
Joe. Okay. Yeah, we're going to have the after show with intern Joe shortly. We're going to be jumping over to Facebook.
Cool.
For those of you that are listening later, this has been the show. We're going to do a quick little ender on it. But for anyone who wants to see us, I don't know, talk more about some local stuff or us kind of goof off, whatever, that's what the after show is for.
That's
We're going to
the
go into
after
that.
show.
Before we do that, Dan,
Yes.
is there anyone you want to thank? And you want to tell people how to follow you? Any, like, shout-outs, plugs?
Oh, you bet. There are so many people to thank. I mean, come on. We had, probably 700, 800 people there this weekend. Thank you to every one of you. Tim, you know I love you, buddy. Thank you so much for all you do for me. Jim and Stephanie, Myron, you guys are really picking it up, and I cannot help thank you enough. My wife, Audrey, come on. You know I love you. You've done more than any person. You put up with me more than any person ever would or could. So, yeah. And then thank you to you, my friend. You've done a tremendous job in putting this whole thing together. And you guys, the efficiency yesterday was phenomenal. It was like click, 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 click. Misty and Charlotte both did a fantastic job out there doing all their stuff.
Indeed.
And, Chuck, all my flaggers. I mean, good God, there's so many people. So many people that put this on. So I'm not the guy. It's those people are the guys. Those are the people that do it. And because of them, we do what we do. So, again, thank you all so very, very much. Appreciate it. That's it.
If we want to find you on social media, we got Riverdale Raceway Facebook page.
We do. That's
And
all I have, right? I don't have anything.
You have an Instagram at Riverdale MX.
How do I know that?
Well, I run it for you.
Oh,
As
you
one
know,
of your-
I'm dumber than Hemlock Stump when it comes to this technical crap. So, whatever. I guess I have an Instagram. Don't forget that.
Yes.
And Riverdale Raceway.
I help you with the Instagram,
.com,
so yes.
That's my website.
Oh, yes. There you go.
And Riverdale Facebook. And I think I have my own one, too. Dan Dale Facebook, I think.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Daniel Dale on Facebook.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's one of the mothers.
You need some new pictures on there. We might need to help you with that here soon.
Dude, I barely got the ones on there, and they were like 10 years old. I have no idea how to do that.
Well, you have your social media guy here.
I know.
We're taking some pictures tonight.
We're taking pictures.
We're taking pictures tonight. Yep. It's
I'm not
happening.
taking my shirt off. No, I'm not taking my shirt
Please
off.
no, we're all keeping our clothes on.
Ah, crap.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who came out to the first round of the Riverdale series, which was yesterday. My entire staff that helped out.
Oh,
man, everyone from the flaggers to the starter, the finish line flagger, the whole office crew, people who pitched in last minute, and every single person who came out, high-fived me and had a good time. Thank you. Dan, you
There's
and Audrey.
somebody I'm missing, I know it, and I feel terrible about that.
I'm going to be here for 10 minutes if I thank everyone, like person by person, name by name. I will say, though, thank you, Dan, Audrey,
My pleasure.
for letting us come out and have a good time.
Oh, I'm grateful. Very grateful for you guys.
And everyone who, all our sponsors.
There we are.
And then, man, just everyone who supported us. We're just going to try to keep fun things going. And I want to thank intern Joe for being a savage. I mean, he's always perfectly on time. He's always helping us out, even when he doesn't know what he's doing.
I'm always early.
I was early.
Joe has been a
What's
huge
your
help with
order?
Moto Monday, so my final shout out. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
And
Awesome guy.
be sure to follow UFMX online. Joe, it's your turn for any plugs before we get out of here.
I can get him on the next one.
You
Just
can get him
copy
on
and
the next
paste all your guys.
Okay. So we're going to shut this down. Thank you guys for watching or listening to Moto
you.
Monday number 71. We are out of here. The after show will start in just a few minutes on Facebook. And we are done. Shut us down, Joe.